Hi guys, today we are going to talk about character's point of view. We just learned a little bit about it and we're going to apply what we learned to our story, Getting a Message to General Washington. So we know that a character's point of view is what a character thinks and feels by what they say or do. So we are going to think about our two characters in our story, Tom and the officer, and try to see if we can determine their point of view of the situation in the story. So I have my iPad here, and I'm going to be working with my iPad like you can work on your iPad. This character's point of view chart is available as a PDF that you can click on. I have mine pulled up and ready for me to write on. So in order to do this, it tells us to read paragraphs 26 through 31 in our story. So here's our story, and this is the page where Tom meets up with the British officer and he steals his list. We need to decide what they are both thinking. Let's start with paragraph 26. This is on page 35 if you want to open your booklet. The British had found Franklin's secret message to Washington. Bread, cheese, jam. What's this? Asked the soldier, puzzled. It's just a list of food I need to get, answered Tom. What is it for? Snapped the officer. Tom had to think fast. The list is for Christmas. My family is having a party. Bread, cheese, jam. Not much of a party, laughed the officer. Go on your way. Tom had fooled them. Only someone who knew the code could figure out that the words on the paper were about boats. That was a good part of our story, so let's think about this now. We're going to discuss their points of view, and they're both different. Tom and the officer. And we're going to write the paragraph where we think we can support our opinion on what their point of view is. So let's think of Tom first. I think here in paragraph 31, when I read that, Tom had fooled them. Only someone who knew the code could figure out the words on the paper were about boats. He is feeling happy and relieved because he came up with a quick excuse as to what was on that piece of paper. And in Tom's point of view, jam is a very important thing because it's actually a secret message that he's trying to get to General Washington. So he's thinking that this list is very important. So those are some thoughts that I'm going to write down here. I'm going to cite paragraph 31. Now, if you have a stylus, you can use that. I'm just showing you that you can definitely use your finger to work. And in that paragraph, Tom talked about his list. Only someone Okay, so I just kind of paraphrased. I said, only code of boats. So it really wasn't a Christmas list, right? And his point of view then is that he thinks this list is very important. Now, when we think about the officer, we know he found it to be amusing. He was sort of making fun of Tom, thinking that, what kind of party is this going to be with just bread, cheese, and jam? Probably thinking that he is a struggling family and that's their Christmas, is to have bread and cheese, and that's it. So in paragraph 30, we could add, for my writing, now let's read that one more time just to remember. Bread, cheese, jam, not much of a party, laughed the officer. Go on your way. So he's really kind of making fun of him. He's laughing. He's like thinking this note is not important at all. Now you don't have to write exactly what I'm writing. You can write your own thoughts in here, and if you think a different paragraph makes more sense to you, you can certainly add that in there. We know that the point of views of both characters are different. So as long as you can support that opinion with evidence from our text, you're doing the right thing. Go on your way. All right, and now for his point of view, we're going to say that he thinks this list is silly. And definitely not important. He's even laughing. So those are his actions. His actions of laughing and shushing him on his way are telling us that he's thinking this is a silly list. Nobody said that out loud. We're just using that evidence to tell us how he's feeling, or his point of view, how he's thinking. Same with Tom. He's relieved. He's like, phew. And he has that note held tightly in his hands because this to him is very important. It's going to help us win the war. All right. Good job. We will be practicing more characters' point of view as we go throughout our year. Nice work, guys.